Welcome, everyone, to AI Pod, episode 151. We take the latest AI developments and really try to pull out the key knowledge nuggets for you. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button. Today, we're diving into the big news from xAI, their new flagship model, Grok 4. You've probably heard Elon Musk calling it the world's most powerful AI model. Big claim.
A very bold claim, yeah.
So our mission today, let's unpack the story, the tech, and figure out what really makes Grok 4 tick, especially compared to the competition. Oh, and quick heads up. This Thursday, 7 p.m. IST, we've got our next AI Pod live session with Samir Kumar from Athera Ventures. Definitely tune in for that one. Okay, so Grok 4. It just landed July 9th, 2025. But this wasn't overnight, right? xAI moved incredibly fast to get here. How did that happen?
Well, the speed is definitely one of the most fascinating parts. It's been a series of really aggressive leaps. It all kicked off late 2023 with Grok 1. The whole idea was inspired by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, answer almost anything, and importantly, they open sourced the weights for that one.
Right, the open source move is interesting. What came next?
Then boom, March 2024, just a few months later, you get Grok 1.5. And the big thing there was this massive context window, 128,000 tokens.
Okay, break that down. Tokens are like word pieces.
Yeah, sort of. Think of it like feeding the AI a whole book or maybe a super long meeting transcript, and it actually remembers the beginning by the time it gets to the end. It massively helped its reasoning coding skills, too.
Got it. So bigger memory, better thinking.
Exactly. Then by August 2024, Grok 2 was hitting what they call frontier-level performance. It was actually beating models like GPT-4, Claude 3 on some benchmarks like the LMSYS chatbot arena.
Okay, so competitive pretty quickly.
Very. And Grok 2 was the first to really bake in real-time data from X, Twitter, web searches too.
The X integration, we'll come back to that. And Grok 3.
Grok 3 arrived February 2025. They called it the age of reasoning agents. More scale, lots of reinforcement learning to fine-tune its reasoning.
Yeah.
And it had that unique think mode you could actually see. It showed you its chain of thought, like how it was working through a problem step by step. Scored really well on math, complex Q&A.
Okay, so that lays the groundwork. Fast iterations, bigger context, better reasoning showing its work. Now, Grok 4. What's the leap this time? Where does it really, shine?
Grok 4 really builds directly on that Grok 3 reasoning foundation,
Here.
but they threw like 10 times more computing power at it during training. It's designed from the ground up as a reasoning model, so
Yeah.
it always uses that advanced chain of thought logic.
Always on. Okay.
Yeah. And here's where it gets, I think, really distinct. Native tool use.
Meaning.
Instead of just responding, it was actually trained using reinforcement, learning,
Yeah.
learning from trial and error to decide on its own when it needs to use a tool.
Like what kind of tools?
It could decide to call a code interpreter for a complex calculation, or perform a real-time web search. And not just search, but actually, like, browse the results, click on links if needed.
Okay, that sounds more autonomous.
It is. And crucially, that tight integration with X data is key here. It lets Grok 4 do really advanced semantic searches, understanding the meaning in X posts, not just keywords. It can even look at images or videos within posts.
You saw a demo of that.
Yeah, there was this example where it found a specific viral X post about some word puzzle. It didn't just search text. It apparently analyzed dates, engagement, context. Pretty clever.
Interesting. What else stands out?
Then you have heavy mode. This is pretty novel. It's a multi-agent approach.
Like a team of AIs.
Kinda, like a study group is how they put it. Multiple instances of Grok 4 work together on a problem. They cross-verify each other's answers. It really boosts accuracy, especially on tough reasoning tasks.
Does it make a difference on benchmarks?
A big one. Grok 4 Heavy was actually the first model ever to score over 50% on this benchmark called Humanity's Last Exam. It hit 50.7%. That really shows an edge in complex reasoning over competitors.
Wow. Okay. And context window, did that increase again?
Yep, doubled from Grok 3. It's now 256,000 tokens, so you can feed it hundreds of pages of text, maybe an entire company knowledge base, and it can process it all. Great for enterprise search type tasks.
And they're making some big claims about its knowledge.
They are. The claim is better than PhD level in every subject for academic questions. It's setting new state-of-the-art scores on benchmarks for novel problem solving, like ARC-AGI, which is designed to test more general intelligence.
And it handles images, voice.
It's properly multimodal, text, images in and out. It uses an integrated model called Aurora for image generation. And they demoed a voice mode, too. Sounds pretty natural, apparently.
Okay, that is a lot of capability packed in there. Advanced reasoning, autonomous tools, that heavy mode, huge context, multimodality. So the big question for people listening, how does this actually help? What are the tangible benefits for businesses or just for someone trying to learn faster?
Right, the practical side. What's the so what? Well, its design makes it pretty compelling for business uses.
Yeah.
That advanced reasoning and analytics capability means it can genuinely tackle problems that were maybe too complex before. We saw that U.S. Math Olympiad benchmark score 61.9%. Human experts typically score around 20–30% on that. That's a serious edge.
So for complex
Oh,
modeling,
yeah,
analysis.
exactly. And the real-time information side, especially the DeepX integration, is huge. Imagine tracking market shifts as they happen on social media, analyzing sentiment instantly, or even automating content creation tied to current events in a way static models just can't.
Like having an expert researcher who's constantly plugged into X and the web and also knows all your internal docs.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, comparisons. Musk says world's most powerful. We see some impressive benchmark scores, like beating OpenAI's latest on that humanities last exam test, especially with heavy mode and tools.
Yeah, the HLE scores were notable. Grok 4 standard got 25.4%, beating OpenAI's O3 at 21%. Then Grok 4 Heavy with tools pushed that to 44.4%, well ahead of Gemini 2.5's 26.9%.
But is most powerful just about benchmarks, or are there nuances? How does it really stack up against, say, GPT-4o, Claude 3, Gemini?
This is a really important question. Most powerful is definitely subjective, right? Benchmarks give us a picture, but not the whole story. Competitors absolutely have their strengths. OpenAI, for example, is arguably still leading on really broad, seamless multimodal interaction. Anthropic has a very strong focus on safety and controllability, which matters a lot to some organizations.
So different strengths for different needs.
Exactly.
Right.
Grok 4's standout features seem to be that raw power in complex multi-step reasoning and that unique native tool use, particularly the X integration. That's its niche, its edge right now.
And the pricing reflects that. There's a high-end tier.
Yeah, they have a tiered structure. There's a premium Super Grok Heavy tier mentioned at $300 a month, which suggests they're aiming for users who really need that absolute peak capability and are willing to pay for it.
So bringing it all together, what's the main takeaway for you, for our listeners, trying to make sense of this constantly shifting AI landscape?
Well, I think Grok 4 definitely puts XAI firmly in that top tier of AI companies. They're not just catching up, they're pushing the boundaries in specific areas, especially reasoning. But the bigger picture, maybe the key takeaway, is just how intense this competition is. And that competition is fantastic for everyone because it's driving these incredible advancements forward at lightning speed.
Yeah, it really forces innovation. And it's a good reminder, too, that there probably isn't one single best AI for everything.
Absolutely not.
We're already seeing companies adopt multi-model strategies, right?
Mhm.
Using Grok for some things, maybe Gemini or GPT for others, depending on the task.
That's becoming the standard approach, yeah. Different
Mhm.
tools for different jobs.
So the journey of figuring out how to use these tools effectively, how they change the way we work, the way we learn, it really is never ending, isn't it? Constantly challenging us.
It really is. It keeps things interesting, that's for sure.